Okay, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about, or continue to talk about graphing and some techniques. One is using a table. Two, I'm going to introduce slope-intercept form. And then finally, I'm going to talk about graphing horizontal and vertical lines. So the first thing is I'm going to give you a table. In this case, I've got some values for x, a value for y, and I'm going to show you how to attempt to not only fill in the table, but to graph this equation. First one, look at x is 0. All I'm going to do is replace 0 for x. 0 minus y equals 3. Okay, so what's left is, I can treat that as a negative 1, divide by negative 1, y equals negative 3. That's my first coordinate, 0, negative 3. Next, I'm going to substitute that 0 in for y. So now this is going to be x minus 0 equals 3. So pretty much that 0 means nothing, so x equals 3. It's going to be my second point. And finally, I'm going to put in 1 for x. 1 minus y equals 3. We'll subtract 1 on both sides. Negative y equals 2. Divide by negative 1. Y equals negative 2. So now, most computer programs usually allow us to plot 2 points. So you can pick any 2 points that you want. But I'm going to graph all 3 of them. So 0, negative 3 is right here at the bottom. 3, 0, and then 1 and negative 2. Now my different tick marks in my graph are not evenly or are the same or equivalent, but it should, all the dots should hit the same, on the same line. Now, the next few examples, I'm going to show us how to do this by what I like to do, the slope-intercept form. So I'm going to introduce to this, and later on in my other lessons, I want to do several more of these examples. Now, anytime you have slope-intercept, you're thinking y equals mx plus b. B is your y-intercept. M is your slope. So in my problem right here, I'm going to rewrite this as 1/3 x. Now, I don't have a b, so if you don't have a number behind it, put a plus 0 there. So that means that's my first starting point is 0. 0. So the b either goes up or down. In this case, 0 is right in the middle. It's the origin. Now I need to look at the number in front of my x. That's my slope. So what I want you to think of is rise over run. Now I know a lot of the English teachers would not like me because I misspelled rise because y goes on the top. So that means I'm running positive 3. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. And this 1 means I'm going up from my blue dot. So that's my new point. So if I connect the dots, voila, there you go. Now notice one other thing too. Not only is the starting point 0, but it's going upward. The green line is going upward because the slope, in this case the 1/3, is positive. If it was negative, it would be going downward. Now, my next example it's in the mx plus b format where my 1 right here is my starting point. So I go up 1 on the y-axis. Now I need to look at negative 2. Now, if it's not a fraction, you can always put it over 1 to make it a fraction. So from that 1, our starting point on the y-axis, what this tells me is I'm going over 1 and down 2. So I'm going over 1 and then 1, 2, down 2. That's my second point. So if I connect my dots, this is what it would look like. Now, notice that it's going in a downward position because it's negative right here. Because the 2 is negative. Now, what I'm going to do in these next 4 examples is I'm going to put it all on one graph. And I'm going to color code it so we don't get confused. So, I'm going to make a little mark right here. Y, when y is -4, y equals a number. There cannot be a variable behind it like an x. But when there's just a number, when it's y equal, it's going horizontal. X, when it equals just a number, it's vertical. We call vertical. It's going up and down. So what I would do on this is y equals -4. I'm going to go down to -4. Now in your computer programs, all you have to do is pick a dot over here to the left or to the right. It doesn't matter which way. And notice it doesn't matter which way we go. It's a horizontal line. Now, let's take a look at my next I'm going to look at my x is -4. That means I'm going to the x value at -4 right here. I may put one above it, and all I'm doing is I'm going to connect the dots. Now notice when I do this, it's a vertical line. Now here's where the next two kind of gives us a little trouble that I've seen in the past. Okay, x is 0. Well, we do as x is 0 right here in the middle. But now, what I want to do is I know it's going up and it's a vertical line going up and down. So I may pick one up right above here. And then I want to connect the dots. Notice what it does. It goes right on the y-axis. And it's opposite with y equals 0. Because when y equals 0, that means I still start right here at 0. But since y is a horizontal line, I'll pick a point like maybe right here, and then I will connect it. And this is what it looks like. So the key of looking at equations that have an x equals or a y equals a number, you just need to remind yourself that the y equals a number is a horizontal line, and an x equals a number is a vertical line that goes up and down. Okay, now finally, my last example deals with a decimal. 2.5x plus 1. Now, this is the one that they'll try to trick you a little bit with. Y equals 2.5. 2.5 is the same as 5 halves. So 5 halves x plus 1. So from this point, 1 is my starting point. I go up 1 right here. Now, what does the 5 halves do? Well, that means it runs 2 from this point. 1, 2. And then it goes up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my line actually, it goes upward because the 5 halves is positive. Now notice this, it goes over 2 and up 5. That's my fraction. So now this concludes graphing on a table, some vertical lines, some horizontal lines, and introducing slope-intercept form. Thank you very much, and be looking out for some more videos.